The Chuwi Hi8 SE is a very interesting 8-inch Android tablet because even though it costs just 99 US dollars, it features decent hardware, at least on paper. Among those are a metal body, a full HD screen, a quad-core processor, and vanilla Android 8.1 Oreo. So is it a good tablet? I'm NJ for mynexttablet.com, and that's what you will find out in my Chuwi Hi8 SE review. By the way, Chuwi is a manufacturer from China, and for a long time you had to get their devices through Chinese import shops. However, by now you can also order a lot of their tablets through Amazon, in the US and Europe at least. In the US you can get the Chuwi Hi8 SE starting at just 99 US dollars. You can get it through Chinese import shops too, so it might be worth it to compare prices. When a tablet costs under $100, we usually get a plastic body only. That's not the case here though. In fact, the back is mostly metal. However, there are two plastic bars on the top and bottom. Still, the build quality is pretty good. It certainly is thin enough with 7.8mm and it weighs 340 grams. There are a power button and a volume rocker on the right side. On the top we get a micro USB port, a standard headphone jack and a micro SD card slot. That one can fit up to 128GB cards. On the bottom there are two speakers, well, at least two openings for speakers. Sadly only one is used as a real speaker. The other one either doesn't work or it's just a fake opening for design purposes. I think that is the case because it is quite common. I watch a lot of YouTube with this tablet and the sound quality is acceptable at most. Obviously there's no stereo feeling at all and no real bass. Sometimes voices can sound a bit scratchy when you turn up the volume. I've reviewed tablets with worse speakers, but still the sound quality is not good, but acceptable at most. We get two cameras with a resolution of 2 and 5 megapixels, and again, like is usual in this price class, both cameras are not great at all. The resolution is low, and especially when in low light, the picture quality is kind of bad. With that being said, it is usable for Skype. I mean, yeah, it's fine for that. The display is the major highlight of the Chuwi Hi8 SE. It is an 8-inch screen with an aspect ratio of 16:10 and a Full HD resolution of 1920 by 1200. Pretty much all other tablets with a price tag of under $100 have an HD screen only, especially the ones from more famous brands. Compared to those, text and icons look much sharper on the Hi8 SE. All other aspects of the display are pretty good too. It is an IPS screen, so the viewing angles are wide. The brightness is good enough for inside but too dark to use in the direct sun. I also like that the screen is fully laminated. Color reproduction is alright and the contrast is good. Overall I think the screen is very good when considering the price. As I said, usually we get an HD screen only at $100 and compared to that the screen is much sharper here. Let's get to the performance of the Chuwi Hi8 SE. It is shipped with a MediaTek MT8735VT quad-core processor. That is a pretty weak chip. With that we get 2GB of RAM and a 32GB internal storage. Around 5.6GB of that are used by the system. There's no 4G LTE option. As you can see in my Geekbench 4 and Antutu benchmark comparison, the Chuwi Hi8 SE certainly is an entry-level tablet. It is interesting to note that it scores a bit better in Antutu than the cheaper Amazon Fire HD8. It also scores better than the cheap tablet series from Lenovo. In real life there are two sides to the story. The performance is good enough for a lot of apps. I've surfed the web in Chrome and read a lot in Feedly, and the Kindle app works great too. Because of its nice screen it is a great tablet for reading. Microsoft Word, YouTube and Adobe Lightroom run fine too. However, with Lightroom it can sometimes take a while until everything is loaded. Now for all of that the performance is fine. However, sometimes there are some smaller hiccups noticeable. For example, sometimes it can take a second and sometimes even two until a new tab is opened in Chrome. Most things are smooth, but then sometimes you have to wait a bit. That is the case when navigating the operating system too. Android runs fine most of the time, but when switching from an app to the home screen, you sometimes have to wait a second until it's loaded. And that's the case when switching between apps too. In direct comparison, the Amazon Fire HD8 is a bit snappier with things like these. I think the Chuwi has to fight with the Full HD resolution. The Amazon tablet has very similar hardware, but has to deal with a much lower resolution, which is easier. I've gotten mixed results in my gaming test too. I played a lot of different games, and among those are very demanding ones like Asphalt 9 and PUBG Mobile. Both actually do run with lowest graphics settings. However, you will notice some minor stuttering in between and sometimes a bit heavier ones, and longer loading times too. But both do run. The pricier Lenovo Tab E10 is not capable of PUBG Mobile. Two other games I played are Into the Dead 2 and Dead Trigger, and they do run with lowest settings as well. But again, you will see some stuttering while playing. Subway Surfers is stutter free. However, I noticed another issue with that one. It does not react as fast as I'm used to from other devices. That might be an issue of the touchscreen or performance, I'm not sure here. Well, if you really want to play games with the Chuwi Hi8 SE, you can, but I would not recommend it as a gaming tablet. For that, you should spend just a little bit more at least. The Chuwi Hi8 SE is running Android 8.1 Oreo, and there will be no update to Android 9. Well, that's the case for pretty much all tablets in this price class, but here we kind of know it for sure from Chuwi. Since we're getting kind of vanilla Android here, I don't have much to say about the software. Chuwi did not customize interface, which is great. As I said, most of the time Android runs fine, but sometimes there are minor hiccups. Obviously, it does support all standard features of Oreo. Among those is the split screen view. However, because it is weak hardware, multitasking is not that great on here. By the way, like all Android tablets from Chuwi, the Hi8 SE does not support Netflix in HD. The necessary DRM standards are not supported. You can watch YouTube in Full HD though. Even though the Chuwi Hi8 SE has a battery with a capacity of 4000 mAh, it got a runtime of 6 hours in my battery test only. For this test I'm always looping an HD video at medium brightness. As you can see in my comparison, those 6 hours are very weak. Together with the Lenovo Tab E7, it is one of the worst tablets when it comes to battery life. So is the Chuwi Hi8 SE a good tablet? Especially when you consider the price of just $99, its build quality and display are very good. I also like that we get almost pure Android. Sadly, the battery life is very short. And while the performance is alright, it could be a bit better to get a smoother system. I can recommend the Chuwi Hi8 SE if you don't want to spend more than $100 and need a high resolution screen and prefer almost pure Android. As I said, the screen is very nice in this price class. Like usual, let's check out some possible alternatives. A cheaper alternative is the Amazon Fire HD 8. While the performance is similar on paper, it does feel a bit snappier in real life. I think that's due to the low HD resolution, which does not need that many resources. The Fire HD 8 has a full plastic body and the interface is customized a lot by Amazon. However, you do get Alexa and great customer support. Oh, and the battery lasts much longer. The next best tablet is the Chuwi Hi9 Pro. In fact, I really like the Hi9 Pro. It is well built, has a much better performance and a higher resolution screen. Depending on where you can get it, it costs around $40 to $50 more though. Alright, that's my review of the Chuwi Hi8 SE. If you have any questions, feel free to write me down below and check out mynexttablet.com. I'm reviewing pretty much all tablets that are released worldwide, and under the best section you can always find my current recommendation, for example, the best 8-inch tablets. Thanks for watching and until next time.